Hey, y'all goes. Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys are having a great and exceptional day. It's Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Don't hump too much if you know what I mean, but I'm just playing. But anyways, let's get to the word of the day, and I'll actually be making some announcements afterwards as well. All right. But once again, before I get started, rest in peace to the people who were killed in that massacre yesterday in Texas. Like I said, last week it was Buffalo. Now it's Texas. It's crazy, and well, I'll make the announcement now before I get into the word of the day. Certain things that have been happening around the world. I've always had this saying: today's forecast, um, we're all gonna die. And I'm not saying that to make fun of the people who have been killed lately and whatnot, but I've always said that because even when incidents like that don't happen, but the media, they know the best way for them, even on social media, to get clickbait is to either put out something very ratchet or to put out something very negative. Um, those are the best ways to get, for the algorithms to work for you in your favor. Unfortunately, I've noticed with my channel, because I try to be positive, because there's enough negativity in the world, but I know positivity doesn't sell like that. Talking about how somebody graduated with honors, coming from such a crazy background, talk about somebody having a successful business without a negative connotation and whatnot. That's not going to work for the regular news outlets, and it's definitely not going to work for the medium algorithms and whatnot, social media algorithms and whatnot. So I'm going to start doing from a monthly basis, not every weekend, because I think I do enough content. I'm going to start doing a monthly content talking about, and I'll go live on my YouTube and Facebook channel. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Larry's Anything Goes LLC. It's real easy to find. But anyways, I will go live once a month, and I might even just do it from a podcast standpoint to where I'm not even showing my face. Um, but basically, I'll just go over things that are happening, within it, because there's always enough nonsense that the media puts out there within a month's time frame. Now, these two incidents, unfortunate incidents that have happened, that's not nonsense. That's real, and it's sad and unfortunate. And I definitely, rest in peace of people who were senselessly killed, and prayers and condolences to the families of those incidents, because that's nothing to make light off of. That's nothing to make money off of. All right, that's why I'm not doing a live event that's dedicated towards that in regards to trying to make light off of it. I'm going to go live tomorrow talking about the incidents from the nonsense standpoint, but I'm not making light of anybody's death. That's nothing to joke about. That's not even nothing to get clickbait off of. So I'm just keeping it real because it's unfortunate. All right, but anyways, just want to make that announcement. I'm going to do that once a month. The today's forecast, we're all going to die. And it's basically just going to be in a sense of a mockery of the media as a whole, because they do a good job of just keeping people scared, in fear, and ignorant all at the same time. Outside of, even when bad incidents like this, a lot of times every media outlet has an angle, and half the time it's BS. And the only people that really fall for it to me are the ones that don't have critical thinking skills. But anyways, today's word of the day is representational. And it's basically relating to realistic graphic representation and whatnot. And I chose this word because the one thing that I liked, the one thing I disliked a lot about going to Atlanta this past week was a lot of the ratchetry and people looking like a bunch of Bamas, with the pants off the butt, um, looking sloppy, the whole rolled out of bed look and whatnot. I mean, this is my roll out of bed look, to be honest with you, how you see me now. So, but the whole, people not caring what they look like thing, it's just getting bigger and bigger every day, unfortunately. My personal opinion. I think it's sad. Because one thing I can, but because, and then of course, not every generation is perfect, but the one thing I can tell between the different generations, and I'm talking about African Americans, my people, because, Atlanta's got a big black population. So I got to see the different generations, the older generation, my generation, and the younger generation. And it was nice to still see that people wore, men still wore suits, being down south. I went out to have a drink with a friend, and a lot of guys were dressed for success. I felt underdressed, and I had a decent jeans on. What was it? I had a collar, button down shirt, and I had casual shirt, and I had regular casual shoes. I didn't have sneakers on, or tennis shoes on or whatnot. But I felt underdressed. Um, and I loved it, and I love to see that. I saw a lot of ladies. They had these nice dresses on where they could wear it to a nightclub or they could wear it to church. Very debonair, very flossy, very nice. And having that sort of representation, unfortunately, I think it's said for my generation, the millennial generation on down, is kind of going away. Like people dressing up is unfortunately, becoming a thing of the past. It's like the only time you really see people get dressed up anymore is really to just go to a wedding or go to a funeral. And even certain instances, even like I noticed with the past 3 to 4 years, a lot of people don't even do that anymore. They'll come like they just roll out of bed. Um, to anything, to a job interview, to a funeral, to a wedding, whatever have you. People like, and if you get dressed up, then you're like the odd one out of the bunch or whatnot. So that's the one thing I can say. Rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. I give him credit. He looked sharp and smooth every time he was on camera. So much love and respect to that. But anyways, um, so that's just one announcement I wanted to make in regards to growing the channel, and not only just growing the channel, but actually just bringing something different to the channel, because that's a perspective that I have, and I'm sure a lot of people have that same perspective in regards to the media as a whole. And this is why most people don't even. I mean, this is why even a lot of media platforms have podcasters on their I mean, a great example I've seen, Meet Kevin on various different news networks. I've seen Graham Steffens. I've seen Tariq Nasheed and various other podcasters of our media, because people are watching podcasters more than they are watching the media in itself, and they know that for them to remain relevant, they got to keep they got to bring people on who are actually relevant outside of their quote unquote networks. So it's very interesting. Today's quote of the day is by Christopher Morley. He stated, "There are three ingredients to a good life: learning, earning, and yearning." Learning, earning, and yearning. And I could not agree with that statement more, because I wake up every day. Like I said, I'm still old school with it, even though I'm a millennial. I do both. I listen to podcasts, I read books. You know, I love learning. And it's like I said, I'm not narcissistic enough to think that I know everything, because unfortunately, we live in an era with the information age that a lot of people think that they know every freaking thing because they got access to it like that. And just because you can get access to something doesn't mean you know every freaking thing. Okay, every day is a chance for somebody to learn something new. Period. There's no other way to scapegoat that. There's no other way to look around it. Every day is a chance for people to learn, but a lot of times people don't want to do that because nobody just wants to. I can admit when I don't know something. I never forget, I was in a classroom one time, and it was just talking about um, a specific technology that I was not familiar with. It was a one-on-one class. So the teacher even said to me, I remember he said it to me. Last name is Mr. Alvarez. He said, "Mr. Patterson, I appreciate your honesty and candor. You said one thing that most people in this classroom were not able to admit. You said, 'I don't know.'" Because a lot of times people would act like they knew something, they would raise their hand, and he would be like, "Well, that was a good guess, but actually you're wrong. This is like, 5% of this specific subject matter, but you don't know not even 50%. So here's the right answer, and here's how you can get the right answer." And that's why I remember his name, Mr. Alvarez, because he was actually not only intelligent, but he loved being a teacher. He'd been teaching for 20 years. He wasn't just doing it just to get a paycheck and whatnot. He loved eager minds to come to him and say, "Hey, I don't know this. How do I get the right answer?" One, and then two, he would always provide a real life example, regardless of the situation. And to me, that's the best method of teaching. You know, I used to say, "Talk to me like I'm stupid," but really I meant to say, "Give me a real life example so I can equate how I can learn the specific subject matter and whatnot." Because if you're only going through the freaking textbook, that's the easy route. That's why a lot of people don't respect a lot of teachers, because if you don't bring any real life experience to the equation, then most of the times the subject matter is not going to stick to somebody's mind. You know what I mean? Like mathematics and engineering can be applied to physics, can be applied to everything. But you just, and this is the teachers out there, in order to get children really into this kind of stuff, you got to show them how it applies to everyday life. Like I got into money, business, and investments because I know it applies to my everyday life. You know, that's why I was never really into too much fantasy once I got into a certain age, because I was like, okay, when I was in high school, I saw a lot of people older than me struggling, and a lot of them, they had a high school diploma, they had a college degree, But I saw them struggling because the one thing that was not talked about enough around the kitchen table and in the school system is how can you make money for you while you're asleep? How can you get more tax write-offs? How can you get access to capital? Those conversations were not talked about enough. Okay, and that's why to me, it's like it's going to be detrimental. Like a family's supposed to be a corporation anyway. It's always been that way, but people don't want to look at it like that. You're supposed to love your family, yeah. You're supposed to love your spouse, yeah. But a economic and a corporation mindset has to be brought to the forefront eventually. And I think the way that the economy is right now, it's going to force more couples and parents to think like that because you're not going to have a choice. Like knowing what's happening on World Star Hip Hop and all this other stupid stuff that's going on, if it doesn't really apply to, my mindset is, hey, what's up, Kendrick? My mindset is if it doesn't have anything to do with getting, a paycheck, then there's no real reason to get upset, but I can't put it any other way. But with that being said, um, these certain things apply. The best way to acquire knowledge is not only to read and listen to podcasts, but it is to see how this information is going to apply to your everyday life. How's it going to make you a better father? How's it going to make you a better husband, mother, wife? How's it going to make you a better person at the end of the day? How's it going to make you a better business owner, employee, investor? How's it going to make you better? That's the real information that matters the most. Loving somebody, that's normal. Your parent, you're supposed to love your kid. You don't get credit for that. You're married to somebody, you're supposed to love your wife or husband. You don't get credit for that. It's like breathing water, breathing air, drinking water. You're supposed to do it. I always go to the Chris Rock, old school, when he said he doesn't like ends because I'm not gonna say the word. He loves black people, but he hates ends because he's like people with that mindset is not even just a color. They like, oh, I paid my bills. You're supposed to. I take care of my kids. You're supposed to. What do you want, a cookie? And even in today's social media world, people want to get credit for being good parents. You have kids, you're supposed to take care of them. I don't understand why that simple common sense process doesn't get embedded in people's mind. But what do I know, right? But anyways, you married to somebody, you're supposed to love them. I mean, you took vows for a reason, right? But anyways, let me get off the common sense track because I know people don't like that. Do the great 3 free things: like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. And as I always say, make money moves, or you're gonna live broke like a fool. Do me a favor of if you're a stock market investor, crypto investor, individual retirement account investor, bond investor, sign up with WEBULL, sign up with Stash, sign up with Acorn, sign up with Crypto.com, and sign up with Coinbase. You get opportunity to make some money when you sign up to all those platforms. Check out the online store, support your local entrepreneurs, and hopefully you guys have a great day. And like I said, once again, rest in peace to those who unfortunately passed away in that incident.